Hi everyone, I decided to tell you about another my favorite ground unit, the light tank M24 Chaffee. In real life it's American tank of Second World War period, which also served in the many other countries' armed forces for decades after World War. In our game it presented in American, Chinese, Italian and Japanese research trees, but in fact it may be easily added also to Swedish, French and British trees, as long as France and Britain got it in their armies. In Swedish tree may be presented modernized Norwegian variant which was in service before of 1993. M24 Chaffee became my favorite tank long time ago. Shortly after getting back to the game at 2020, I enjoyed this tank a lot and always used it for participation in the various events where rank 3 was required. Now M24 Chaffee in American and Chinese trees have rank 2, but in Japanese and Chinese it still has rank 3, however all versions have same battle rating 3.7 in realistic battles. From other side, in American and Chinese tree you have ability to take early modification of P-47 Thunderbolt and enjoy ground strikes with it. As you may think after my story, this tank has a lot of advantages, so let's talk about them. First advantage is good weapons. This tank has very good gun with 104mm of penetration. It's enough to penetrate all enemies to the sides and many enemies from the front. In addition, it has 12.7 Browning machine gun and 7.62mm machine gun paired with main gun. 12.7 Browning is extremely useful against of other light tanks and slow aviation. Another advantage is unusual for light tanks, its survivability. Yes, it's not a mistake, this tank has a very good survivability. It's because it has small size and surprisingly good armor for so light tank and 5 crew members. Of course, armor is mostly working against of machine guns and low caliber tank guns, but sometimes it even may make a ricochet of more serious calibers if enemy didn't aim well. But even if your enemy shoots you from serious gun, there is a chance that he will destroy only front part of tank, where driver and radio operator sit, or central part of tank, where placed gunner, loader and commander of tank. So, in both cases tank survives with a crew member lost. Sometimes shots just take out 1 or 2 members of crew. And finally, you have enough of smoke grenades to organize your retreat if things going bad. Other very important advantage is tank mobility. It has a good speed and dynamics at all, it drives well even though weak surfaces and it's heavy enough to destroy obstacles without extremal speed loss and shows itself in battles very well. And the final advantage is very unusual. This tank is very well balanced, its battle rating ideal. It plays very good on its battle rating and lower, and just good even in full up tier. In same time it's not so toxic as this kind of tanks can be, so players don't cry about it on forums and that decreases chances that developers will spoil this tank with adjustment of battle rating or some other nerfs. So, from complex of advantages we understand that this tank is a great combination of firepower and survivability of medium tank with size and dynamics of light tank. That's why I called this video Concentrated Fury. It's really concentrated fury which are ready to wipe out enemies and win battles. So, you may ask, what about disadvantages? And I will say, honestly, nothing. But if I would be meticulous, I can say about this, there is a special version of this tank which was a prize for event. It's an American tier and mostly same as usual, but it has special shell with penetration 118mm, which may be very useful for destroying front lower projections of medium tanks. but regular tanks lack this shell, I think because of balance needs. Anyway, it may be counted as disadvantage, so that's it. And second disadvantage, that this tank is not presented in Swedish, British and French trees. As I already said, Britain and France got it as land lease, and it can be a great addition for their early setups. Swedish tree may get even 2 modifications of Chaffee, original and modified in 70s, with new gun, engine, laser rangefinder and other things, both from Norwegian Army. That's all what I may say about disadvantages. This tank is almost ideal for this battle rating, and probably even best, or at least one of the best on these ranks. There are only 2 acceptable tactics for this tank. It's flanking and ambushing. This tank isn't designed for battles face to face, so you should avoid it. As conclusion, I may say about customization, it's small enough to cover it with bushes if you have them. It has a lot of camouflages for choice and a lot of custom liveries on War Thunder Live, so you will not get bored. That's all what I wanted to say about this awesome light tank. It's M24 Chaffee, remember this name. Thank you for attention, and bye.